continue discussing your group work, isn't it? All right. Is group 7 ready? Group 7 to give us their nuggets.
Yes, group 7 is ready.
Please go on.
Right, just a minute. Are you able to see my slides?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, thank you very much. My name is Uzima Chira. I'm presenting on behalf of group 7. So our first nugget was looking at 8 reasons why I accept your article. As editor-in-chiefs, it's important that they want to maintain their reputation and profile of their journals. And so they look at articles to ensure that that reputation is maintained. For them to do that, there are 8 things that they look at in an article. 1, an article must provide insight into an important issue. 2, the insight must be useful to people who make decisions, for example, those in long-term organizations to make decisions in an appropriate or particular field. 3, the insight used to develop framework or theory either must be a new theory or advancing an existing one. The 4th reason, the insight must stimulate new and important questions. 5, the methods used in the article to explore the issue must be appropriate. For example, your data collection, your analysis of the data must be acceptable. It must be clear, as we've learned in the past couple of days through our course. 6, the methods used are applied rigorously and explain why and how the data supports the conclusion in the article. 7, connections to prior work in the field or from other fields are made and serve to make the article's arguments clear. This also is of utmost importance. And that's one of the reasons why we accept your article. And 8, the article must tell a good story, meaning it must be well written, it must be easy to understand, and the arguments must be logical and not internally contradictory. In addition, just to mention that the article must be original, it must show something new or must be relevant, and you must use appropriate research methods, and your article will be accepted. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. If you stop sharing, then thank you, Group 7 and Group 8. Get ready. After this session, you will present before I send you back to your group to continue. All right. So we will be looking at tables, figures, and charts or graphics, whichever you may call it. So this is within the context of the research, and it's very important, and they can be also across other parts of the paper. the methods part. They say a picture is worth 1,000 words. Is there anyone who disagrees with this very ancient saying? Does anyone disagree? Nobody. If you disagree, please just let me have your hand up. But otherwise, it is acceptable everywhere, regardless of the age. Regardless of the age. And that is why the first thing infant starts to is pictures. Pictures. If you want to tell them story, if you look at children's storybooks, they are very, very small amount of words, but full of pictures. Because pictures are captivating. Pictures raise your imagination. Pictures help you to understand. And that is what it is, as you can see on the screen there. If I ask different people what they understand, you can see different things that start coming out. You just see from the picture. Okay, so pictures, tables, figures, chart, graphics are very important to help us to understand facts. But they can also be problematic, misleading. They can be confusing. They can be complicated. And then they make you to fail in the mission of using them to make things better. Okay? So it's very important to understand how you can use them appropriately. So they are great tools to present sizable amount of complex data, and they're also space saving. But you require careful planning at the manuscript writing stage. So some of you now are already thinking from the project you have, how you will use graphics, tables, figures, charts to illustrate your project you're presenting on Friday. Hooray! I'm really looking forward to it, and I can see the dedication. Goodness me, this cohort of writers. Oh, wow. And let me mention here now, I think we will really want to set up a cohort of mentoring in scientific writing from this group. If you want to take part, please send an email to Eman, and we'll organize that. Eman can put her email, please, on the chat box so that you can send an email to her. But I want to sound someone in here. During this week, you'll be very motivated. That is what happens. You're very motivated. You make a decision. I'm going to take this forward. I'm not going back. But what happens is that achieving this is beyond just motivation. Motivation is good. It's the first part. But there is something else: dedication, sacrifice. Dedication, sacrifice. If you don't make it, all I'm saying this week will just only be for this week. You catch the fire this week and after that. So please, I am just give me a minute. Let me see what is happening with the kids here. Okay, sorry about that. Yeah, sorry. I'm muted. I wanted to attend to the kids here who need my attention. Yeah, so it's a different day of different this, but yeah. So yeah, no, I was saying something. I was saying about the mentoring. So please take your time to think about it. If you know you do not have the dedication and motivation to push this forward, don't get into it, because then, you know, discouragement is also very infectious, can infect other people, so that you are determined to carry this through. We have different cohorts and there are variations across them. Some are doing well, some are far away. You need to tie a rope on their neck and pull them, otherwise, no. So what happens is that if we do this, I want you to drive it. We'll only mentor you and guide you, but you drive it. So before you send email to Eman, make sure that you have thought this carefully, that this is what you're going to carry through regardless of the situation. We'll carry it through. And I think this can lead to producing, in fact, today, the first cohort, we started, their paper is now they are about having the proofs of their paper to do the proof correction, their first paper. Hooray! That is great. And they are working on 2 more. Hopefully soon they will go get those ones. What happens is that the knowledge they are gaining from here, the experience they are gaining from here, and the second cohort we established, fighting, they are fighters. I really like their spirit, working hard, but not all the cohorts are in the same. So you need to decide that I want to get this and I want to invest my time. Don't come to feed the number. Don't feed the number, because it's not what we want if we want to change the narrative of you not hearing me? Is everyone hearing me?
Yeah, we are following.
Good.
Yes,
Great.
we are following.
Great. Yeah, looks like some people have problem with their. Okay, so please think about it first before you join. Don't fill our numbers. We and the last course we had, one of the groups has already submitted a protocol for the systematic review that they started within the course. That's fantastic. They did it quite, and I think some of their members are here already. They did it quite fast. So you need to get it going. You need to push it. No going back. Yeah, Eman, you can share your email again. Some people are saying they didn't get it. All right, so the figures, some principles. Check what the journal requires, okay? Check what the journal requires. Do they require figures? Do they require tables? Do they require graphics? If they do, how many of those, the maximum they require? So that you don't go and get 20 figures when the journal requires only 8. So check what they require. And then only include the important information that improve the reader's understanding. Okay, choose which ones to use. Are you using tables? Are you using figures? Are you using graphics? Which one that will illustrate your data clearly? Are you using combination of those? Choose appropriately so that you are communicating. It is not a must. The goal is to do or take decisions or take actions that will enhance the reader's knowledge and understanding. Do not use this to replace the reporting of numbers and text in the paper. Ensure that the display items are self-explanatory. Refer to tables and figures, but don't repeat them. This is where many people see the examples I gave, where people gave so much numbers. The tables and the figures are there to aid. The data are already there. What you do in your resource section is to use text to describe. And then if you are to point anything, let it be the essential ones from the tables and the figures, the essential ones, because they are there for the purpose of containing those numbers. So there is no need for you to bring those things into the text and start writing all those down. No. So refer, but don't repeat what the text has. Okay. Ensure consistency between the values or details in tables and figures with text. So you're writing the text, ensure that what you have in the tables or figures are the things you are presenting in the text. Give clear informative titles. Give your tables and figures should give an immediate visual impression. People like it. Make it beautiful. Okay? Make the labels and legend clear and complete. The important principles to follow. How do I choose which one to use? Tables, figures, and text to present my data. I use tables to show many and precise numerical values and other specific data in small space. Use figure to show trends, patterns, and relationship across and between data sets when the general pattern is more important than the exact data values. You use text when you don't have extensive or complicated data to present. Okay, so these principles will guide you on how to use those. I wouldn't spend so much time here. You get it, then you use them. This is an example. On the left side, you have a bad tables. On the right side, you have better ones. Okay, you can see what is happening there. What makes the bad, the left one, the top one, bad? What can you say?
Hello, Professor.
Yes, please.
It's too busy.
It's too busy. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What makes it too busy?
The decimal points.
Too much decimal points, isn't it? Too much decimal point. Yeah, I see hands. I have for guns. You want to speak?
No, it was the same.
The same. Okay. Okay, great. Mm-hmm. So too much decimal points. Okay, I have Chinwe. Chinwe, you want to say something?
Decimal points are inconsistent numbers.
Inconsistent numbers.
Of the decimal points.
Of the decimal points.
Yes. Some
Yeah.
forms.
This one decimal point and this several. Okay. Yeah. So you have to avoid this. You have to avoid this. And you can see the formatting as well. Yeah, somebody's mentioning that. This is how they call it. Index. This is centralized. This, I'm not sure which one is this. I mean, these are the things that are published. You can transform this one now to this and you make it better. Okay, this one too. This one also very busy, very busy. I'm not sure how somebody is going to comprehend all this. So think about your tables carefully. Figure on the left, bad figure on the right, better one. Why do you think the left one is bad one? Anyone?
It's not well aligned.
Mhm.
The alignment is quite poor.
You see, many times people want to use 3D presentation, but you know, the thing is simple. We need to be simple. Yeah, I see some hands. Who are those? Have Kevin?
Yes, also the labeling of the y-axis.
Mm-hmm.
And, the table is not. So the y-axis on the bad figure is not labeled. And,
Mm-hmm. The y-axis is not labeled. Yeah. Nuha?
Yeah, there is no need for a 3D figures in this type of study.
There's no need, eh?
Yeah, no need for the 3D.
Of course. Let's go for simplicity. Come on, my people. And get the message across. Look at this one again. Look at the title. Can you see what the title is? Mouthful. By the time you finish reading, you've forgotten where you started. What was the beginning? Supplementary figure 5. Graphs of depth of coverage for the mitochondrial sequences ML 1.1 and ML 1.2 represent the two replicates of ML 1.1, and ML 2.1 and ML 2.2 represent the two replicates. Goodness me, I didn't even know where I started. What was the beginning? Graphs. Simple, but I forgot already. You see? So please let your titles wherever. How does the reader find the result in a paragraph that contains other information? Where is Wadu? Let's look. Where do we find? By the time this class is finished, you may not find it. And that is not what you want. All right. Anything to say on this? Any question? The papers I shared with you, we published. You can see. You can see. I think we did a good job. I wouldn't say we are perfect. We did a good job, at least to make it quite simple so that you understand. So you can take your time. Yeah, I have two hands. Who are those? I have John and Chinwe.
Please.
I have John and Chinwe.
Okay, Prof. Thank you. I don't know if I begin or Chiwe should begin.
Yeah, go ahead, John, please.
Okay. Since we said that the graphs or table should be self-explicit, the ones that you said were better, most of them had no title. I don't know if.
Yeah, I
you have an
wasn't.
explanation for that, please.
Those ones I wasn't giving the titles. I just cut the pictures themselves, not the title.
Okay,
So
thank
I
you.
was illustrating the complexity of the pictures, and then I was telling you that the titles should also be clear.
Okay, thank you, Prof.
Okay, Chinwe. Oh, Chinwe has read. That was an old hand. Okay. All right. Let's go to the discussion section. Now we have passed the results, and I hope it has sunk. Please do your best to see how you can revise that. Again, the functions of the discussion section: to turn your data into knowledge. And so there is an embedded connotation of interpretation here, to interpret what you have found and make it a knowledge, to harness your result to answer your research question. You see, you ask a research question, you stated your aim in the introduction, and now you're coming back to that. Your result has given you an answer, but now you need to use this answer result has given you to provide a basis and address the question you had asked before. So that is the framework. So you relate your answers to your research question to the broader discipline. Okay? Turn your data into knowledge, harness your results to answer your research question, and then relate your answers to a broader discipline. Okay? And so, how does it look like? In the introduction, we have an inverted funnel. Yeah. And now in the discussion, this is the way it is now. Okay. In the introduction, we had the funnel, and then in discussion, we have it inverted. Okay, that is the right one. And so you start with the smallest. If you put the funnel of the introduction here, you can see you start from broad and you come to specific. And now in discussion, you start from specific and you go to broad. So you answer to the question. How the answer to the question is supported by your results. How your results relate to other studies, and contribution of your study to the field. And then you make conclusion. This is a pattern. Yeah, Ngozi, please.
Okay. You know, in the previous slide, you said inverted cone. I think you made a mistake there. It's
No, I
meant to
say
be
inverted funnel.
No, you wrote cone.
Yeah.
Check it. Inverted cone.
Yeah, go ahead.
You made a mistake. It's meant to be a cone and an
inverted funnel. Yeah, I agree.
Thank you.
Thank you. So please note that God has corrected us. And these corrections are important for us to get it right. So next time I'm going to clean that up. So a cone and inverted funnel. Does anyone disagree with her?
Yeah, Prof.
Yes, please.
Sorry, I thought the cone is not inverted in this case.
Yeah. So you're agreeing with
sorry. Let me rephrase what I was trying to say. I think it's inverted cone.
Inverted cone.
Yes,
but not
I think
inverted
so,
funnel.
I think it's inverted cone to me, and also the funnel is also inverted.
Or is it? Okay,
How
let's
does
not
the cone look like?
Let's look at it and research it tomorrow and come to answer that. But at least you can see the picture of what I'm trying to say, which is most important there, isn't it? I have Amanda. Amanda, I want to continue on that.
Yes, I was thinking like if you take this shape, then it's an inverted funnel, but then it can still be an inverted cone where you start from the broad and the base of the cone becomes smaller. So they can be used interchangeably depending on the picture you're showing.
Okay.
Because inverted, the broad part will come up and then the base becomes small. And
all right. I think we can take this the first thing tomorrow morning. Which one is right? Okay. But regardless of whether it's inverted or not, you can see the picture. That the way you start is small and where you end is big. That is the picture. In the introduction, where you start is big, where you end is small. Do we all agree on that?
Yes, Prof.
Great. So tomorrow, please do your research. Let's understand whether this is inverted or not inverted. Cone or funnel. More hands? Is it still on the same issue or questions? Let's not discuss the inverted or not inverted. Yes, John, please.
Sorry, Prof. No, it's not on the same issue on the tunnel or a funnel or the cone. I was just wondering, previously I understood that discussion may begin with you presenting the question, or maybe the main objective.
No.
I don't know if that one
No.
still holds.
No, we are going that.
Okay.
Don't when you're going to your discussion, I've seen that happen many times. And when I comment papers and you don't do that, you have stated your question from the beginning. So we're expecting you to begin to provide the answer, not to state the question again. We already know your question. So don't take the reader for granted. Don't take them to have dementia or they forget. No, don't do that. Just go straight to what you have found, because the readers are smart to know that. So you don't say this journey of this paper started by asking the question, is this, that? Is this, that? Now we have reached this point. We want to provide you an answer to what we have done. No, wasting energy and space. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Prof.
Yeah. So get started by asking this
Excuse me,
question.
sir.
Yes, please.
Excuse me, sir. Please, if you don't mind, could you kindly give us like an introduction, the best way to state or to begin the discussion?
Don't worry now, Patience, you're too ahead of us. Hey, we're just starting from where you start. No, so just some principles. I will get there. Okay. So what exactly did the study show? These are the questions you ask from the beginning. What did the study show? Okay. Then you go to what might it mean? How else could the result be interpreted? Have other studies had similar results? Or is there a disagreement in the field? What are the study strengths and weaknesses? What exactly should happen next? You see, these are the questions you answer in the discussion, not the order really they appear in this thing. So, but the summary of the finding is what comes first, okay? Because there are different structures. But what happens is that in relation to the other aspect of the structure of the scientific paper, discussion is the place where you have some level of freedom. Apart from the place where you state what you have found, you have some level of freedom, really. And that is because in the sense of what you argue to be the meaning of your findings, how you relate your finding to other papers, how you discuss your strengths and limitations, you have freedom around those issues. Okay. All right. The template the beginning, the answer to the question, not introduction again. The answer to the question you have posed. The middle, explain, defend your answer, explain conflicting findings, and then describe your limitations and with your conclusion and implications of your finding. This is simple, very, very simple. Okay. Example is this. The discussion picks up where the introduction leaves off. End of introduction. We therefore investigated whether intravenous, this and that, and then the discussion begins. In this study, we investigated whether this would attenuate this and prevent this. Yeah, this one, I don't accept it. Okay, and this is what John was asking. Just begin here. In this study, our results show. You don't need to repeat all this. Okay, you don't need to repeat them because you're highlighting the M's again. Already, the readers understand that because they have been reading the paper. Because they will. Do not begin with a second introduction. That's what I was trying to say. But begin with a summary of the results, the key findings. Do not start a second introduction. So the first paragraph of discussion should be very specific and focused. Get right to the point, which is to answer the question presented in the introduction. The answer to the question is the accumulation of the paper. It deserves the most prominent position in discussion, and that is the beginning of it. Essentials of writing biomedical research papers. That's where it comes from. So get right to the point. Don't begin to dribble, accumulate words here and there. This is a BMJ paper in 1999, and it has stood the test of time. The suggested structure for discussion. I use it, and for my students, I use it. Not everybody uses that. Like I've said, there's some level of freedom you have in discussion. So the first paragraph is statement of principal findings. Not everything you have found in the study. Principal findings, those findings you think can be taken forward and make a case for them. Those findings, not everything you have found, because not everything you have found is important. So the first paragraph, you state that. The second paragraph is the second and third or fourth is where you illustrate the strengths and weaknesses of the study. Okay, strengths and weaknesses in relation to other studies, discussing particularly any differences in results. So the third paragraph we say here will be the comparison of what you have found to the extant literature in the field, what others have found. Okay. Then the fourth item will be the meaning of your study or the meaning of your findings, possible mechanisms, how this function, and the implication for clinicians, policymakers, others, and others. And then unanswered questions and future research perspective. And you conclude. This is the way it functions. So let me stop sharing this to help patients who was becoming impatient with me to show what we did in those studies I've sent to you. So I can show this so that you see an example. Those papers I have there, I think all of them, you can check them. And yeah, so this is the paper. Make it bigger. This is where our aim is. In the present study, yeah, we investigated the associations between use of hormonal contraceptives, subtypes, and duration of use with the risk of developing new onset asthma in reproductive age women. That is our main aim. This second one is just secondary aim, as you may call it. So this is what we stated. And now you go to the discussion section. In this representative population-based longitudinal cohort study, we found a large, clinically meaningful, reduced risk of developing asthma among reproductive age women who use hormonal contraceptives compared with those who did not. This reduced risk was similar for women using combined contraceptives and progestogen-only therapy. We also showed that the beneficial role of hormonal contraceptives was greater for longer duration of use than for shorter duration. Those women who used hormonal contraceptives for 5 years had more protection than those who used them for 3 to 4 years. And those using them for 3 to 4 years had more protection than those using them for 1 to 2 years. Did you get that? That is our.
This is beautiful.
It's beautiful. You like it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But I can't give you the paper. It's already bearing my name. So. Yep. So this is the way you summarize your finding. the key findings. But you see, what I have summarized here is more than what I have shown. You see the figures, many things we have shown, the tables. So it's a summary of the key findings. The key findings. What is unique from those findings? And the second paragraph now starts with the main strengths of this study include the large sample size, which provided us the opportunity to investigate the association between hormonal contraceptives and their subtypes with considerable precision. This is the database we use. It's an established longitudinal primary care database with, at the time of this study, 6.3 million registered patients from 630 general practices across the United Kingdom. The patients in the database were well characterized and are representative of the underlying general practice source population. Okay, so this is the strengths and limitation fall into this paragraph and this paragraph as well. See, an important limitation continues. And then now, we are going to compare with other ones. Of the 17 studies we identified in our earlier systematic review that investigate the role of hormonal contraceptives in asthma, only 2 observational studies examine asthma onset as an outcome. So you are comparing now, okay? Although the first study reported an increased risk of asthma onset with previous use of hormonal contraceptives, the second study reported a decreased risk. So you have to make that comparison in the next paragraph. And you continue to compare. And then here comes where you are trying to look at the underlying mechanism. Why would this be happening? Why would hormonal contraceptives influence asthma? And you start the next paragraph, the underpinning hypothesis linking sex hormones to asthma onset in women is strengthened with the observation that the activities of endogenous sex hormones increase in females starting from puberty, which parallels the switch in asthma incidence from male predominance to female predominance. Some studies have shown that, you see, you deal with that to explain. Okay? And so, when you have reached there, you also need to give implication of direction as well. And this paragraph will also include that. Clearly, our findings show that the use of hormonal contraceptives previously, currently, and in the long term is associated with a substantially reduced risk of developing new onset asthma in women of reproductive age. Although these findings do not suggest any changes to current policy or practice on preventive strategies from asthma, they, however, indicate the need for mechanistic investigation to better understand the pathophysiology of these associations and randomized controlled clinical trials that will provide definitive evidence on the safety and effectiveness of hormonal contraceptives for primary prevention of asthma in women. And then we made calculation. If you want to conduct a randomized control trial, what are the likely number of participants you may need? And then you conclude. Yeah. So if you look at the other papers I've shown there, I've shared with you, I think they contain similar direction of how to, and this cut across fields. So please, I think the structure the BMJ paper has given is helpful. Any question? I hear somebody say it's beautiful. Yeah.
Yes, sir. I
Yes,
have
question.
a question. I'm still smiling though, but I have a question.
Yeah, what is making you to
So,
smile?
yeah,
Patience.
the write-up is beautiful. It's well
Yeah.
written.
Yeah, that is what you need to do when you leave this course. Of course, it's beginning small, then you improve. Okay.
Okay. So my question is, supposing you have more than one research question, how do you divide them or fit them into this one paragraph?
Yeah. So the first paragraph of the summary of key findings, isn't it? Yeah.
Yes.
So you summarize the first one, and then you can use that what we call transition words. You can say, furthermore, or in addition, our study also showed this. So use those words to deal with this, but there's no barrier, even if you have 10 research questions, I mean, which is unlikely. But if you have more than one, describe them, use transition words to present what you have found in those.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yeah. All right. Let me try to finish up quickly. Okay, let me go to, this is the, so we have finished the paper. We have finished writing the paper. Okay, from introduction to the discussion. That is what we have finished now. And so the next thing you need to do is to prepare the abstract. So I've said the abstract always comes last, okay? Not first. When you have the clear picture of your paper, then you can put the abstract down. The abstract is a miniature of the whole paper. It's a miniature. What I mean is that the key information in the paper, the abstract presents. It's an appetizer for the whole paper. You see that if a journal contacts you to review a paper, they will, in most cases, provide you the abstract so that you can make a decision whether to review the paper or not. So you take the abstract and gets insight into what the paper contains. Okay, the abstract answers the following questions. Why was the study done? What was the problem question addressed in the study? What was done? What did the study find? What was the conclusion? You see, these are all the things that are in the paper, but they are more elaborate. In the abstract, it is where you demonstrate your artistic ability. Artistic ability. Your paper contains 5,000 words, 4,000 words, 3,000 words, 2,000 words, but the abstract is containing 200 words. Some can even be 150 words, 250 words, 300 words. It's not an easy thing to do, but it's something you learn over time. But these questions help you. What was the study done? Well, why was the study done? That is giving you a background, a summary of that global, what is known, what is unknown, what your study is going to contribute. So why was it done? So you use 1 or 2 sentences to give that persuasion. What was the problem? Your objective. What was done? What did the study find? Okay. Now let's go back to this paper. I describe my paper. I'm not bragging. Don't get me wrong. Anyway, it's my paper, But I just want to show you that really this is doable, it's learnable, and I'm using myself as an example, honestly. Because when I started, I struggled. I was struggling. Come on. But today, I write sometimes, but now my students growing, so I more or less support them to prepare their papers. Yeah, so look at the abstract here. This abstract in this paper here, this one here, from here onto here. And this paper takes only 250 words maximum. What does it say? The background, despite describes sex differences in asthma incidence, there remains uncertainty about the role of female sex hormones in the development of asthma. That's the background. Objective. Somebody is not seeing. Are you not seeing this? Is anybody who is not seeing this?
It's visible.
Oh, it's visible. Okay. 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 All right. So this is the background. The objective, we sought to investigate whether hormonal contraceptive use, its subtypes and duration of use were associated with new onset asthma in reproductive age women. Method, using the OPCRD, a UK National Primary Care Database, we constructed an open cohort of 16 to 45-year-old women, followed for up to 17 years. The date is given here. We fitted multi-level Cox regression models to analyze the data. Results, at baseline, 26% of women were using hormonal contraceptives. During follow-up, then we describe that. Okay, and then the main finding compared with non-use, previous use of hormonal contraceptives. We give the hazard ratio, combined and progestogen only therapy was associated with reduced risk of new onset asthma. For current use, then you give the estimate. Conclusions, hormonal contraceptive use was associated with reduced risk of new onset asthma in women of reproductive age. Mechanistic investigation to uncover the biological processes for these observations are required. Clinical trials investigating the safety and effectiveness of hormonal contraceptives for primary prevention of asthma will be helpful to confirm these results. If you read the main paper, you will see that this abstract reflects what we have there. And I hope somebody will say this is also sweet, isn't it? Yeah. But this is so when you focus on answering these questions I've shown you. Let me show it again. These questions. Where was the study done? What was the problem? What was done? What did the study find? Sometimes the journal does not have a structured abstract like the one. They have a summary. So you put everything in one paragraph. It doesn't matter what they use. What they require. You should be able to summarize your data within that space as well. Yeah, Felicia.
Good afternoon, Prof.
Good
Sorry,
afternoon.
looking through the abstracts, I want to ask that is it compulsory for one to break it down? You have from the paper, you have the, sorry, can I have a look at the paper? Can you show?
You have the background.
The background, I had to
the
put it there as it is, the objectives. Is it necessary? Because I know that some papers, we don't
So the first thing you do is to look at what the journal will always specify what they want. So that's why I said that some will require summary, not structured abstract. They call it unstructured abstract or summary. And so what the journal asks for you is what you do. What I have done there is not what I have put there. That is where the journal puts this. And this journal here, I publish here, just to also brag a little bit. It's the second. It was the first ranked journal in allergy up to last year, but another one has taken over. So it's one of the top journals in the field of allergy and clinical immunology. So it's an important journal, and it's good to get your paper in that journal too. So if you want to follow my footsteps, so please just do what I have instructed you. Yeah, somebody's writing the impact factor. Yeah, okay, great. All right, sorry, our time is up. I have this abstract. I will give it to you. I'll put it in your this thing. This is the first one. I want you to look at this abstract and point out what could be the problems. But if you want to take a picture, you can take a picture of this. What could be, but I will put it in your folders. What could be the problem? I will give you two abstracts. How do they compare in terms of the readability, the information they contain? Are you satisfied with it? And so on and so forth. This one, yeah, I will give it 3 actually. And then this one. Yeah, it's not looking so nice, the picture. But this 3 abstract, I will put in your this thing so that you can see. All right. That is it for me today. Sorry for taking your time due to these technical things here. So what do you want?